Good morning, everybody. Right. It's my pleasure to welcome our distinguished guests who are generously contributing their time today for our benefit to understand the problem statement that's been laid out in front of us. But in addition to thanking our distinguished guests, I'd also like to thank our faculty members who are here. I want to thank the hosts, and I must say, by the way, just pulling your leg a little bit, they used more big words than I've ever used. So we must have done our job right to teach you those particular words, I hope, right? And then for those of you that are in the audience, you certainly don't look anything like the scruffy bunch that used to show up in my class. So it's nice to see all of you all cleaned up and ready to go. That's excellent. Given that this is sort of the opening for two sessions that we have, I'll address both of them a little bit, if you don't mind. So we have a session on AI and what it means in the real world. And we have a session on sustainability. So, anytime you're given multiple topics, and this is a good thought experiment to try out, it kind of helps to try and see how those topics are related to each other. And this is a good way to challenge yourself. So I tell you Amitabh Bachchan, and I tell you Bitcoin, and you've got to find a way to combine those two concepts, right? It's a very good mental exercise. So I went through that last night, trying to put sustainability and AI together to sort of see what would be the association between these two concepts. And here's sort of how I'm going to lay out my argument. So I looked at sustainability as an outcome that we want. And we want sustainable outcomes at three levels. Sustainability should be something that is applicable to an individual, it should be applicable to an organization, and it should be applicable to society. Now, what does it mean to be a sustainable individual, a sustainable organization, and a sustainable society? Being a sustainable individual, in my mind, means being somebody that is constantly growing, because that is the only way you're going to be able to sustain yourself. It means being somebody who is at peace with themselves to a certain degree. Otherwise, you will have a series of burnouts. Okay, so keep these in mind, because I'm going to tie it back to AI in a second. So one of our goals from this conference should be, what does it mean to be a sustainable individual, which means a continuously learning individual who is also at peace with themselves. Now, what does it mean to be a sustainable organization? Now, that one might be a little bit easier, right? A sustainable organization, first and foremost, has to be profitable. Right? Organizations generally do not exist if there is no money supporting them. So being a sustainable organization certainly implies the first P of our 3P that we've all covered, which is profit. But as you all know, being a sustainable organization also means that it's an organization that takes care of its own people. Otherwise, the organization cannot sustain. It takes care of other stakeholders because, again, the organization cannot sustain without the goodwill of everybody around it, in addition to its employees. And again, it's something that they are also a steward of the larger planet or the larger earth, right? So being a sustainable organization really means trying to pursue the triple bottom line. So sustainable individual is about continuous learning, and it's about being at peace with yourself. Being a sustainable organization is about being able to pursue the triple bottom line over a period of time, because that's the other meaning of sustainable, that it endures over a period of time. And if you look at what does a sustainable society mean, a sustainable society, I think, is one where the earth doesn't get wiped out in 100 years, whether it's by AI or whether it's by other natural causes. It basically means one where poverty and inequality are addressed in some manner, because no society that is highly unequal is going to survive or sustain itself for a long time. So sustainability, when applied to a societal context, means something a little bit different. But I think we would agree that sustainability is a good way to envision or imagine a future. Sustainability for us as individuals, sustainability for our organizations, and sustainability for the larger society that we live in, right? And I hope that in the sustainability part of the conference, we address those as outcomes. Now, there are many ways to become a sustainable individual. There are many ways to become a sustainable organization and many ways to be a sustainable society. And the beauty of this morning's conference is that I hope we examine the role of AI in driving these three forms of sustainability. Let's just briefly look at them, because the rest of the conference this morning, you're going to be digging primarily into the role of AI in creating sustainable organizations. That's essentially what it is. But let's take a little bit of time, a few minutes, if you will, to talk about what sustainability means, from an AI perspective at an individual level. The question here for you is, how do you incorporate AI into your lives to be sustainable individuals? How do you incorporate AI into your lives to be continuously learning, not just as a crutch or a tool that helps you get something done, but because we defined being sustainable as being an individual that is continuously learning, how do you incorporate AI into your personal lives so it helps you be the best learners you can possibly be for the rest of your lives? That's how I would interpret it. The second way I would interpret the notion of AI and personal sustainability would be, how does AI make you happier? Because sustainability is about happiness and peace with yourself as well. Think about AI and its role in making you happy rather than anxious. How would you incorporate AI into your lives in terms of that personal pursuit of happiness and your own long-term mental well-being and sustainability? That's probably not something we cover in today's conference, but something I would encourage the audience to think about, the role of AI in creating a sustainable you. The conference is going to talk about AI and the sustainable organization, so I will not tread on that particular ground. And let's now look at AI and a sustainable society. Here we do know that there are probably as many perils or downsides as there are upsides. So I'm looking beyond the organization. I'm looking at a society level. Does AI move us down a societal path of mass unemployment? Does it move us towards universal basic income? Does it move us to a society where people feel devalued by and large, or they're so lazy and their brains are completely shut off that they're essentially like that movie WALL-E that you may have seen? So these are questions to think about. What is AI's impact on society is different from what is AI's impact within an organization. AI's impact on society will be seen in terms of employment. It'll be seen in terms of gross domestic or gross happiness index. It'll be seen in terms of whether people come together or does AI drive people apart through misinformation and disinformation. So AI's effect on society, equality, and its long-term endurance and social stability are big question marks. They're not question marks we will address today. But as intelligent PGPM students that are boldly going out into the future, you need to basically carry with yourselves the fact that there are these multiple aspects of AI, one of which we're discussing today, but there are the aspects of AI on your personal sustainability and AI on society's sustainability as well. All right. So with that, I'll sort of pause and say that in each of these sessions, we'll dig into some of these particular aspects. And I hope these sessions will be useful. And in fact, I know they will be, because I've had the privilege of attending previous editions of Samavesh, which always, thanks to the speakers that we have and thanks to the format that we use and also the individual student presentations, invariably does meet the mark. And I hope this Samavesh does as well. So welcome, and let's get the conference started. Thank you.